As a matter of fact, Detective of the Year, busted for texting a 14-year-old child. Well, it was a decoy, part of an undercover operation. He gets busted, penalty not severe enough. Let's put up his picture full mass here. Okay, you're looking at Detective of the Year, and also a guy who likes children. Santa Ana police officer, who 3 years ago was named Detective of the Year, was charged Tuesday with sending sexually graphic messages to the decoy who pretended to be a 14-year-old girl. That's according to authorities. Gregory Daniel Bamarcus, 43, has been charged with one misdemeanor of annoying or molesting a victim believed to be under 18. This cop, who surrendered to authorities Tuesday, has been on administrative leave since being identified as a suspect in the sexting investigation. Okay, so you got Detective Daniel here, and Detective Daniel is actually a guy who responds to high crimes in this region, Santa Ana, but at the same time is involved in a crime of trying to solicit a relationship, a sexual encounter with a child. There's more to this story. Detective Daniel, Gregory Daniel, a Santa Ana police officer since 2011, was named the department's Detective of the Year back in 2019 and helped form its major enforcement team to suppress major crimes a year later. They do consider child molestation to be a major crime. All right, there's more. Police officers are entrusted with the sacred responsibility to safeguard society from harm. That's what the Orange County DA said, Todd Spitzer. It is beyond disturbing that a sworn police officer would engage in inappropriate conversations with someone he believed to be a child. Our children should not have to worry about being preyed upon by the very people we teach them who are there to protect them. The vast majority of police officers are the trusted authority figures we expect them to be. And when an officer engages in criminal behavior, it tarnishes the badge of all of our hard-working law enforcement officers. Now, let me remind everyone watching, we have covered multiple stories on Indisputable of police officers who are in fact engaged in inappropriate sexual relationships or attempting to engage in these relationships with minors, okay? What we typically see is that corruption is not simply linear, meaning when there's one level of corruption, there's always another one. And this seems to be directly associated with the culture at some level. Too many cops are being caught up in this kind of scheme and being placed under investigation by their own. There's more. Orange County investigators working with Homeland Security tracked down the detective after the decoy contacted OC Crime Stoppers to inform them of the messages that were being sent from someone claiming to be a 45-year-old police officer. You have a detective telling the person that he's engaged in an illegal conversation with that he's in fact a detective. There's more. High crimes investigators documented this cop sending graphic messages to the civilian decoy between December 2021 and January 2022. Even after access to his social media platform was cut off by the provider, what did the cop do? The cop decided to create another account under a similar social media handle, according to prosecutors. So he gets shut down on his own social media account. And instead of heeding to this and saying, well, you know what? Well, maybe somebody trying to tell me something, okay? What does he do? Big bad Mr. Investigator of the Year, Detective of the Year. He says, I'm going to make another account with the same information on it and continue to engage in this monstrous predatory criminal activity. Why? Because he feels protected. Why would somebody operate in this manner? Because they feel untouchable. Why would he feel untouchable? Because he's the police. Typically, they are untouchable. Typically, this does not happen to them. If convicted, this cop will be required to register as a sex offender, will face up to a year in the Orange County jail. That's it. Why? Because they decided to charge him with the misdemeanor statute rather than the felony one. Once again, he's getting a break. Today's filing of criminal charges for showing sexual interest in children shows no one is above the law when it comes to keeping communities free from predators, said the acting special agent in charge. Oh, okay. So that's why you are charged with the misdemeanor offense. You literally have a felony statute that you could have charged him with. You didn't even charge him with violation of oath of office. As I have said before, when you do not see the violation of oath of office congruent to the other charges, the fix is already in, okay? So they decide not to charge him with the felony statute. There is no violation of oath here. They charge him with the misdemeanor statute of the crime, which is only punishable by up to 1 year in prison, which means this person will serve no jail time. Getting privileges and benefits because he wears a uniform. The cop should be held to a higher standard of responsibility and not a lower one. But routinely we see this happening time and time again. Jackson, thoughts on this?
Yeah, so obviously a year in jail is absolutely not enough to even curb his diet for children, basically. I mean, it's always so sick and crazy to see, men who truly go after this, because you can date young women who are very legal. But no, this is a sickness that this man is truly attracted to children. And they're only giving him 1 year, as you pointed out, because he's a police officer. Not only that, detective of the year. And that's why he was able to do this, because he was able to hide behind his accolades and his position. But I mean, you see stuff like this, and because they know if they threw the book at him, what would likely happen to him in a prison setting. So unfortunately, with just a year's time, he'll likely get out and continue this type of behavior.
Yeah, and we're gonna follow the story, but I don't think he's even going to get a year. I don't think he's gonna get any actual jail time. And it's unfortunate because it highlights the rape culture in America, where we give a wink and a nod to those who are involved in this kind of predatory sexual behavior, even those against minors.